Hey, what's up? Today we're going to try something a little bit different. I've got a Line 6 Variax guitar that I'm looking to put a Gibson humbucker in. Did some research online and not a whole lot of information out there. In fact, on one of the forums I asked if anybody had done it before, and one of the guys came back and said don't do it, that it could mess with the electronics in the Variax. But I'm not sure how that would happen. I mean, I've got a pickup that's about 8.5 ohms. It's a Gibson Burstbucker 3. And I'm going to test out the ohm rating on the existing passive pickups that are in the JTV 59. I can't imagine they're much below 8. They sound pretty good, but we're always shooting for something better. And if I can get a 5% increase in tone and get it to sound a little closer to my actual Les Paul Standard, which does have a Burstbucker pickup in it, then I think that'll be a win. Not a big investment, and if things go wrong, I can always just rewire the original pickup back in. So let's see what we got. So this is the Burstbucker 3 pickup. It's actually a 4-wire pickup, but 2 of the wires you just crimp together to make it into a 2-wire pickup. Looks like I got plenty of lead here. I mean, got almost a foot. Got this used on reverb for almost nothing. And we'll see how it sounds. These pickups are obviously have a nickel cover, and traditional pickups or newer Gibson pickups actually are wax potted, so they dip them in wax to keep the coils from vibrating around, and it makes them less microphonic. But the Burstbuckers are sort of the way the original Gibson pickups were done. It doesn't have the wax potting in there. It can make them a little microphonic. If you put them next to a high gain amp, they might squeal a little bit. But I am playing through a Helix, and I've had no problems with my Les Paul Standard that has a Burstbucker in it. I think maybe it contributes a little bit to the tone. Who knows? It's a lot of voodoo when you're talking about pickups. But let's see how this process goes. So I've already removed the strings. I want to take this bridge pickup and pull it out. I believe it is wired to the switch. Now most Les Pauls, the wiring actually goes back to the pots, and then there's something in there that when you change the selector it changes pickups. But these, we'll find out. You can take the pickup out, trace where the wire goes. I'm hoping it just goes to here. It looks like it might just be a 2-wire setup. Unsolder the old ones, solder in the new ones, and we'll see. Alright, so I've removed the 4 screws from the pickup ring, and it just lifts out. Yeah, that looks like just a... interesting, huh? Bones B. I'll have to test this out and see what this is. This is the original pickup. And I don't know if it's a 2-wire or 4-wire. And it goes that way. Going back towards the pickup control switch. So, well, let's check it out. Interesting though. It's Bones B G&B Pickup Company. I'm going to look that up and see if I can get any more information on that. I'm going to very carefully remove this nut from the pickup selector. You want to make sure as you're taking things like this out and unscrewing it that you're not twisting the switch on the other side. And you want to always have a little box nearby to, as you're taking stuff off, a place to put these parts. A washer here. Well, that'll come out when we flip it. On the other side, we've got the pickup selector switch here. So we're going to pull that out. And give us a little room to work with. And one of these wires, this one or this one, control the go back to the pickup. It does look like it's just black and green, no ground. Well, let's put a, let's give it a little tug and see which one does it, whether it's the top or the bottom. I got a feeling it's going to be the bottom, because when you flip this switch down, that activates the bridge pickup. My thought process is that this guy right here is probably the bridge pickup wire. All right, next trick is I got to pull this wire out back through the pickup cavity. So, and I don't want, then how am I going to get the wire back up? I'm going to tie a wire to these. Then as I pull it, I'll have something to tie the other end on and then pull it back through when I'm done. At least in theory, this should work great. Let's see how it goes. All right, so that worked. Here's the wire I attached to it to give myself a pull through. There's the pickup. Not a lot of lead line on there, but pretty good. And we'll pull the new pickup through and see if we can attach it. All right, well, the new pickup is in. Not wired yet, but it did go in fairly easily by pulling the wires. We'll see, even if there's no sound difference. Kind of liking the look of the chrome there. Even with the offset, the black pickup in the front, it's sort of like a reverse Jimmy Page. Right, Page had the black pickup back here and the chrome up there. But anyways, aesthetics, so far, I like it. I got to figure out which wires I need to wire in which order to get back to that switch, and hopefully no ground issues. Let's take it. All right, so this mission is almost a success, I'm going to say. Did cut the lead a little shorter because I really didn't need all that length in it. It was kind of binding things up. But the Gibson pickup, the black and the red are what wire to the switch in here, and they kind of match up to the black and the green of the rhythm pickup. So the top one, as you're looking at the switch here, is the red. The picture's going to show it, and then the lower one that it goes into is the black. And then I did have a wicked grounding issue going on. This bare wire, I didn't have it attached to anything, and every time I touched the pickup, it was making a pretty good hum. So if you look in the switch here, there is a green ground wire that's about halfway down on the switch. It is wired all the way back to a grounding lug here, where all the green wires come together. So if you follow this green wire here, that leads to the switch. There's sort of a center lug there. I just soldered that bare wire there, and that got rid of the hum. So the only thing left to do here is not a huge issue, but if you see how far this pickup sticks out of the ring, if you try to loosen that screw to adjust it any further, those screws are just a little too short, and then the pickup just flops around inside there. And it really does need to go lower. You can see it's almost touching the E string there. I want to get this lowered down so that that chrome cover is maybe almost level with the pickup ring, because the volume is kind of crazy and it's kind of bassy. I don't know until I get all the strings on, but definitely the volume of this pickup is louder, I think, just because of the proximity to the strings. So I gotta go online and see if I can find these pickup adjusting screws. Oops, and get something a little longer. That'll enable me to drop that pickup into the ring a little further. So far, so good. All right, well, I did have to actually replace the pickup ring. It was just too tall. I guess I could have sanded it down, make it smaller. But Guitar Center had this package that had 2 rings and some springs and screws. That's a Proline, there you go, cream ring 2-pack, made in Korea, so as the guitar is, so it fit pretty good. The problem was I needed longer screws too, and the screws that came with this package were not quite long enough. So then you can get all parts springs and screws, which have a slightly longer screw, not by much, but enough to make it work. And that is this one, GS0394 nickel metric They got to be metric screws, I guess, to be a little longer. So you go. With those two things, I think it was 13 bucks for both packages. That's what I needed to get that ring to fit right. And here is the end result. I think it's a thing of beauty. And you can see that I got that pickup down. It's a little above the ring, but the ring is shorter, so now it got some space between there and the strings. Oh, what a beautiful guitar. And it sounds a little better to my ears. Sounds a little more like a Les Paul now. Let me know if you want to hear some sound samples. Thank you much.